damn shit like a damn monkey, like they running something. We're not in the time of dancing and partying and BS. That's how a lot of people like to do. Go to the damn club, try to pick up the next hoe, try to run trains on these girls. Okay, want to smoke weed and play Madden all day. Y'all just want to have a good ass time, man. We're not in that time right now. Now, you can kind of understand because we've been catching hell, so sometimes you just want to kind of kick back. But we're not in that time right now. Now, we have an okay time amongst each other, amongst the brothers sometimes with fellowship. But overall, we're not in the time to have a party right now. It's time to wake up our people, man, to this truth, because the Lord is coming back to kill people. Okay? He's not coming back to give out daps and hugs and everything is not going to be all right. The day of the Lord is going to be a terrible day. That's right. When the Lord arrives with his chariots, which people call UFOs, but they're really IFOs, so they're identified flying objects. You can identify it in the scriptures. That's right. Okay? When the Lord comes back, it's going to be a bad time in that thing, man. According to Zechariah the 5th chapter, this is going to be the curse that's in the house of the thief. Okay, and who's the chief thief right now? The so-called white man, because he stole America. He's on stolen property right now. And when those chariots enter in this house of thief, it's not going to be good here. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 16. Redeeming the time because the days are evil.
Right, we're in evil days right now. Okay? And now evil, means time. Ill means bad. We're in bad times right now. Okay? The state of the world is in the worst condition it's ever been in human history. There's a hole in the ozone layer. The oceans are filthy to where the sea life is beaching themselves trying to get the hell out of the water. You know, whales are constantly beaching themselves. Animals are dying off at an alarming rate. The minds of the people are just, everybody's bugged out. Kids are stupid as hell. You know what I'm saying? Everything is all jacked up here. We're in an evil time right now. So you have to walk and tread lightly. Okay, you have to make, because every move could be your demise here, man. Because we're surrounded by death. Where?
Verse 17. Wherefore be not unwise, but understanding what the will of the Lord is.
Right, be not unwise, but understanding what the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is, man. And what's his will? For his elect men to wake up, to preach the word and live the word. Because you can't just be a hearer of the word or speaker. You have to actually do it and actually live this book to the best of your ability. That's his will. It's also his will is to bring the so-called white man into captivity for putting all the hell on his people, man.
That's right.
That's right, bro. Also his will to destroy 2/3 of the nation of Israel for their wickedness, as you can see here. Okay? Because he's only going to deliver 144,000 men, which those are going to be the governing body, the men that come out and actually teach the word. And then 1/3 of our people are just going to be believers, families, things of that nature, just believe in it as well. But 66.6% of these so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans are going to perish, man. Along with these heathen nations. That's a lot of death. The Lord has a lot of killing to do in this time. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 18. And be not drunk with wine wherein is excess.
Right, be not drunk with wine. And that doesn't mean be not actually drunk with that little wine. That means philosophies and other beliefs and ways, like the ways of America. Don't be drunk off of walking around according to this system and what they push forward. Okay? We have a different standard here. We live by a different code. We don't live by the laws, statutes, and commandments of the so-called white. Now we do, granted, we pay taxes, we render unto Caesar what Caesar's. But things that you render unto Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, that's what you do. Okay, you don't fall into worship of the doctrine. You pay your taxes and pay your rent, pay your car down, all that type of stuff. You gotta live. You know, but anything else, eat pork, support this homosexuality, voting, all that crap. We leave that to everybody else.
Verse 19. Speaking to yourselves in psalms and hymns.
Go back to the Sirach chapter 10, verse 8.
The Sirach chapter 10, verse 8.
Right, to recap, so we read about the wickedness of the so-called white man, and we went down his laundry list of sin, which if we did the whole thing, we'll be here for years to come. You know, but because of this wickedness, this is what's going to happen here, man. Because when we read the second Esdras, the 6th chapter, it said Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of the fall. Remember that? He's going to go down and we're going to be in rulership. This is why. Yeah.
This is Sirach chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit.
Right, because of unrighteous dealings with what? That's how he got this land, with unrighteous dealings. Because when he came over here, who was over here? The so-called Native Americans, right? He broke over 400 trees with them. Every tree that he made with the so-called Native Americans, he lied and broke it. Stole their land, put them on dusty-ass, unarable lands to where you can't really grow no food. Okay? Called it manifest destiny. So he took over this land in the southern parts for your people as well. Because y'all were dwelling here and they kicked y'all out, and now y'all illegal immigrants. Hell, he's the illegal area, man. We was here first. The 10 tribes of Israel, which is the northern kingdom, which is of the Indian and Latin descent, they were over here first. They came over in the time of the Assyrian captivity. Okay, because we already knew about this land.
Real quick, give me a. You stay with me. Give me a 2nd Ezra chapter 13.
You said it was 10 tribes. 13. Yeah.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 13, verse 40. These are the 10 tribes which were carried away prisoners out of their own land in the time of Hoshea the king, whom Salmanasar, the king of Assyria, led away captive.
Right, so he led us captive. When you read about Shalmaneser, that was one of the roughest kings ever, man. He had a brutal captivity amongst the northern kingdom, amongst the 10 tribes, amongst like the Latins and the Indians. Okay, go ahead.
And he carried them over the waters, and so came they into the land, unto another land.
Okay. He carried them away into captivity because they went into the Assyrian captivity, and the southern kingdom, which is the Negroes, Haitians, and the West Indians, they went into captivity with Babylon.
Verse 41, but they took this counsel amongst themselves, that they will leave the multitude of the heathen and go forth into a further country where never mankind dwelt.
Right, so they took it upon themselves to get away from that captivity, man. They go into another country where never mankind dwelt. Okay, so no one lived over here in the Western Hemisphere at that time. But we knew about it because of King Solomon. When he had his navy under Hiram Abiff, he used to send them over to bring over different animals, different minerals like gold, silver, different things of that nature from over this land and bring it back to Israel. So that's how we already knew where it was. Because when it reads down, it says it took him 1.5 years. But when you read the book of Kings, it took his navy 3 years. So 1.5 years here and 1.5 years back. You know?
Verse 42, that they might there keep their statutes, which they never kept in their own land.
Right, so they wanted to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and best ability that they weren't able to keep in the Assyrian captivity. So they wanted to get away so they can live how we were supposed to live. Go ahead.
Verse 43, and they entered into Euphrates by the narrow passages of the river, for the Most High then shewed signs for them.
He showed signs for them. So when you look at our people, the so-called Mexicans, when you read the Chronicles, they were best at navigating the stars. They were best at navigation. That's why you have the Mayans. That's why their calendar is so close to the end, because they were traveling with Issachar. And so they were able to really navigate those stars and really find out that's how they made their way over into the new world. Right?
For the Most High shewed signs for them and held still the flood till they were passed over.
Right, he held still the flood. When you look at the part of Africa, those are some of the roughest waters on the planet. So Most High calmed those waters down for our people to get through, and then go around Africa to come over here to the Western Hemisphere. Right?
Verse 45, for through that country there was a great way to go, namely of 1.5 years.
Right, 1.5 years, like I said earlier. Okay?
And the same region is called Arsareth.
That's how I believe that's new land. That's good. Okay, now go back to Ecclesiastes 10:8.
This is Ecclesiasticus 10:8.
Let's start from the top.
Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by the sea.
Right, so unrighteous dealings, like when I brought up, it's unrighteous dealings. What do? He lied to the so-called Native Americans. He kicked y'all brothers, y'all at the lower parts of America with all lies and BS, man, hypocrisy. Okay, also he goes around the world lying. Okay, he goes around and sets up military bases, like I said, in all the other nations. Okay, he breaks treaties with them as well. He set up proxy wars, set up puppet leaders to take over everyone's resources to gain the whole world. And that's still not going to be enough because he's a self-destructive being. Go ahead.
The kingdom is translated from one people to another.
Right, and riches got by the sea, which he got all the riches. Why? Through the sea. His BS doctrine, his democracy, his Christianity. So now he's gained the whole world because of his lies. Okay, and so now the kingdom is going to be translated from one people to another. So that's why Esau is going to be the end of the world, and Jacob is going to be the beginning of the fall. Because of all this wickedness, the Most High is going to take this rulership from the so-called white man and give it to his rightful people. Isaiah 14:1.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1.
Right, so this is what we got to look forward to. We're just not out here just out here screaming for the sake of it. Okay, we're out here for a reward. When the disciples asked the Lord, Lord, we done gave up all. The men of the Lord left their families. Okay, they did all that to follow Yahweh. So they asked, what do I go get in return? Okay, and he said, because you follow me in a regeneration, you're gonna sit up the 12 tribes of Israel, judge. You're gonna sit on thrones, judge the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay, so you're gonna get rulership, and that's what we out here fighting for. We out here waking up like-minded men, so we can seal the elect, and then the Lord can come. We can get the hell out of here, man. And it's for righteousness to flourish on earth. Okay.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel.
The Lord's gonna have mercy on Jacob, okay, and yet choose Israel, his people. Where?
And set them in their own land, and the strangers shall be joined with them.
Right, and those strangers is talking about Israelite foreigners. Because we have people right now that are Israelites, but they don't know they're Israelites. Okay, they're living the way of Buddha. Okay, or they think they're black, Asiatic black men, or Mexican, brown pride, or they're thinking they're Cherokee Indian, things of that nature, but they're actually Israelite according to the Bible. Okay, so those are those strangers. Okay, those are those Gentiles that Paul went to. He went to Israelites in the Gentile state of mind, following the ways and the customs of the heathens. Right. So those are the ones that are going to join unto the elect. Right?
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob.
Right,
and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were.
We're going to take them captives, whose captives we were. And who will be captives of? So-called white people. Okay? That's in the Bible. I didn't write that. That's in the scriptures. This is talking about a future prophecy here. So there are going to be slaves in the kingdom of heaven, man. And we're going to be able to pay this damn devil back twofold of what he did to our people. We don't even know all the things that he did to our people. Okay? We only know a little bit. Okay? But this all going to be revealed to us in the kingdom of heaven when we have those spiritual bodies and we have all full knowledge that the Lord has.
Like I say this, brother, there's a lot of things that keep coming out.
Yep.
More and more. You learn something. Hell, you learn something from Jake. That's, on all honesty, Jake's who being that old black conscious, they'll know some. They'll have the skinny on some stuff, or some Edomites like, oh, this was dug up about this and that. They have all type of stuff. But what the brother's beautifully going into, man, we don't know half the stuff Esau done done to our people, man.
That's right. Revelation 18. Go ahead.
And they shall rule over their oppressors.
We shall rule over our oppressors, man. Because we are oppressed right now. We're not able to live the way we live, man. When we came over as cargo slave ships, the Hebrew was beat out of us. Okay, so now people walk around the streets of America looking crazy as hell right now.
That's right.
But our people don't think they're oppressed. Everybody think they free and too blessed to be stressed. But meanwhile, all these curses taking hold of our people, man. Our women, our men, our people are ugly as hell right now. Okay? People, women wearing weave. How you cut your hair off, then go buy some more hair? That don't make sense. No? Go ahead, bro.
And it shall come to pass, in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve.
Right, he'll give rest in sorrow. That's when we're gonna be able to kick back and actually exhale. Okay, the real men, Lord, are waiting to exhale right now. The hell to damn women.
Right.
Because we're uptight in this place, man. Because we're surrounded by wickedness, man. We vexed by the filthy conversation of wicked every day, just like Lot was.
God, brother.
Because he was in the Sodom and Gomorrah catching hell, looking at all type of bestiality, homosexuals. And he was the only one delivered with his $2, man. But he was vexed because all the wickedness that he's seen. And we feel the same way. Go ahead.
Thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say,
you're gonna take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. Because what's the modern day Babylon right now? It's America. When you go into Hebrew, that word Babylon goes from the word babal, which means confusion. And that's what you see around here in America all day. Everybody's confused. Okay, and so the king of Babylon, who is the ruler right now, Esau, we're gonna take up a proverb against him on that day. Go ahead.
the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked. How had the oppressor ceased? I'll just start off back first few words. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how hath the oppressor ceased?
Right, how hath he ceased, man? Because the Most High loosened his grips. And that's the only way we're going to get out of the rulership of so-called white men, out of his thumb. Because we can't do it physically. We in these weak ass bodies. He has all his military power, and that was his actual blessing as Esau. Okay? His blessing was a sword. What's the modern day sword? The gun. They got all type of weapons for Jake out here. People think they're gonna take up arms, and when it gets to so-called white men, they out their damn mind, man. Our weapons of warfare are not carnal up here, it's spiritual. And we right now we pulling down those strongholds, which means the lies and philosophies, waking our people up and taking them out of their bondage. Okay? Because he has all type of weapons. He has weapons where he'll shoot a ray gun at you, and it makes you feel like your skin is burning without even touching you. You know, they have all types of weapons, man, that we didn't even know about yet. They're working on robotics right now. They have robots searching out people. They're working on super soldiers having exoskeleton suits. They got so-called white men got some shit for our people.
Sound weapons.
Yeah.
Because remember on that movie, what, Equalizer? No, that wasn't that one. It was the one with that church, that one with Samuel L. Jackson. When he was passing out the chip, basically. You know, King's Court. That's what it was. Kingsman, yeah. If I could say this, yeah, they had that scene where they was in that church, and it seemed like everybody was on that frequency, man. Everybody just turned into a demon, just started going for each other's head, man. So the so-called white man, he got weapons that can basically change frequency and just basically make people bug out, man. You know, bring out them spirits, you know.
He do that, man. He does it with music all day, every day.
Go ahead, bro.
How had the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased. The Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers.
The scepter, the staff and scepter that represents rulership and leadership power. He's broken the so-called white man's power.
That's right.
He who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke.
Right, he smote the people in wrath with a continuous stroke, man. He's the so-called white man's ruling everything. These elites have trillions and trillions of dollars. They have so much money, they could bail America out overnight with debt and wouldn't even bat an eye. That's how much money they have. That's how much resources.